think I need to, so that'll take all day. Because about, roughly we'll say 20 minutes per video. So yeah, that should definitely take all day. Well, I'm also including this as well, and that's 70. Well, it's not actually 70, but it's probably close to it. Since it'll take about half an hour. Well, for Pokemon, I think it's like 20 minutes, I think for Oblivion, it's like 25. I want to say 25 to 30. Diablo, it's like 30, I think. Is it 30? Something close to it. Probably like 25 again. I know Craft, depending on the circumstance, I think it's like 20 to 30. I know if the game crashes... Okay, so here's the thing. So, in terms of Nehrum, the reason why I hated recording it... I might have already said this before. I don't know if I said it during Pokemon. But I'll say it anyway, because it's actually something I want to get off. Because I think it happened to Oblivion. And pretty much, I'll say it in the next Oblivion session too. Why I hate it when a game crashes and I have to edit it. Okay, so when... I think Nehrum's more topical about it, because Nehrum, pretty much every session, it crashed at least 3 to 4 times, kind of thing. So I think it's a little bit more easier to sort of explain it through Nehrum. I think, from what I remember, session 1, it crashed, I think, once or twice, I think. So that's probably the easiest thing there. So session 1, so if you don't know this, about each and every time I do either a new game or it's just another sort of, like, the first session will always be 10 videos no matter what. Unless there is a very different circumstance where 8 is going to be the threshold. But I will always try to push for 10 for the first session. The second session, that's where you get that line of where it goes from, like... I always try to hit 6 at the minimum, unless it's like an emergency where I need videos for that, just to make up for a good break time so I can make that long session. 4 is the emergency. But 6 is always the minimum, and then whatever is the highest. But I always try and keep it even so that you get that same session no matter what. At the beginning, I think I always tried to... I think I made it between, like... I think at the beginning I had odds in there, so you had like 5, and then it sort of just kind of got towards that. Like, one day you'll get the end of the session, and then you'll get the start of the session, and it's like, wait, what? Like, that's kind of confusing, though. You're like, alright, this is it for this session, and then literally, and like, I have it scheduled for half an hour later, you go like, alright, we're in this session now. It's like, wait, what? Huh? You just ended it. Like, what? What's going on here? I'm confused. So that's why I stopped doing odd ending in the odd number, and I went towards even number. Now, when you try and edit something as long as Nehrum, actually, I have the total duration of the Nehrum one. Give me a second. I would need to use my editing software to get towards the final millisecond, but that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking for, like, what the final second is, kind of thing. I think I remember how long it took right off the top of my head. I know for the longer ones, it's even worse. I'll definitely say the one that I know off the top of my head that it took that long, and I was really angry about it. I was happy the game lasted long, but it didn't last as long as I thought it would. Okay, let's see here. Session 1. Okay, so Session 1, it is a 2-hour, 41-minute, 44-second long time that I took to actually record that. But that's not actually true. It took longer than that. Because if it crashed and I didn't save often enough, which I think during this time, I think I had autosaves turned on. So that was always pretty much a much given that, like, I didn't really need to save as much. At least now I defeated all the trainers, so I just go straight across without actually finding a wild Pokemon. So, with the crash, of course, I have to take both this clip, which I think it was around, 2 hours, It was 2 hours in, and then I think it crashed. So if it only crashed, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters how many times it crashed. It's the raw files that sort of just hurt a lot. When I try to take that raw footage and put it all into one giant video, for this, I think it took around 3 hours and 40 minutes for it to render. For it to get through so it can take those 2 clips and mash them together. It took almost 4 hours for it to do it. And I was like, you're joking. So there was one session in Nehrim. I think it was one. I'd be very confused if there was 2. Actually, give me a second. I could probably find out. Okay, can I search for details and search for duration? Can I? What? Oh, I put S, not... Oh, I can't put duration. Okay, awesome. Okay. There we go. We can get rid of... Or is it under length? Wait. Oh, you can look for length and you can get the same thing. Okay. Never mind. Nope. It was the one. Okay. So, session... 13. Okay. This one I remember definitely right off the top of my head. I didn't remember what session number it was. To me, they're all identical, to be honest. And plus, I don't have, like, a special image to indicate which one is which, so it doesn't really help me all that much, too. There's not one that says, like, oh, this is the 5-hour one or whatever. So, yeah, so session 13 is my 5-hour... Oh, no, it went all the way down. Okay, that's weird. It is my 5-hour and 35-minute exactly, apparently. With 5-hour, 35-minute, 0-second session. So this, I think it crashed maybe 3-4 times, I think. So this was a very long session. It got 20 videos out of it, which I'm very, it's the channel record right now. No session has actually, no actual series has been able to take Nehrim's spot for the one with the longest session. So I'm very happy for that. But for every time that the game crashed, I always got angrier and angrier, and you can actually probably hear it in the dialogue too, where I got, like, you could kind of hear me get annoyed a little bit because I had to restart from where I was, and I had to kind of go from, like, memory to kind of go, okay, I was at this exact spot before it crashed, I think, or I'm very close to it, so I'm just going to go return to recording now. Did I fight you? No, okay. So this one, it took around... trying to give a rough estimate. I think it was around 8 hours. Just about. So for I'm just going to round it down kind of thing. So for a 5.5-hour session, it took 8 hours for it to go from start to finish with perfect sync kind of thing. And I'm just so baffled by how bad that was. So when I had to render it and I saw 8 hours, I'm like, I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to go to bed. By the time I wake up, it'll be done. Because it was that bad. I'm not going to go and, like, sit on my computer, wait 8 hours and go, ah, yes, it's at 3%. No, I have other stuff to do, like sleep. But I was just so baffled by that. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I understand that my computer probably might not be like the gold standard for video editing kind of thing, but turning a 5-hour session into one giant sort of like mashup, I kind of thought it would take, okay, I could accept 6.5 hours, or 6 hours, 6.5 hours kind of thing. Adding a little bit of extra minutes, you know, it's got to make sure it's got to recompile and all that kind of stuff. I understand that, but 8 hours, it might not even been 8 hours. It might have been even more than that. But it took like almost half of the extra time kind of thing to do that rendering. And I'm just like, I'm just so baffled by it. But yeah, so every time a game crashes, at least at least when I think I stopped recording for, I think, Insurgents? Did I ever stop recording in Insurgents? No, I don't think I stopped recording in Insurgents. Oh, and when I pause recording, that's different. I'll get to that in a second. No, I don't think I ever stopped recording Insurgents. I think I paused it all the time. And even if I did, I don't think it changed much. I think it might have added like an extra 10-20 minutes. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, so when so now I'll always try and pause the recording if I need to, like, you know, just like step out for a couple seconds or whatever. I'll always try to pause the recording, not stop it. I'll pause it. And there's actually a reason why I'll try and pause it more than stopping it. So I think my phone has this option. I think that's why I kind of liked it. And I'm like, oh, I wish, like, I hope that like OBS has that option too. And it does, and I'm happy for it. But when you pause the recording, it still retains all that data, and it just stops. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say buffering, because I don't think that's actually the right term for it. But it just stops recording your screen at a certain point when you actually tell it to pause. Then when you unpause, it resumes recording your screen. And that doesn't it doesn't create a new file. It doesn't create a new sort of like anything else. It continues with the same file. You might need to have a lot of RAM for it. I don't know. I definitely know I have more than enough RAM, because the amount of RAM that the God Cube Cube here has is the same exact one that's in this computer, so it's fine. So it's all good, but like still, like I think, yeah, that's why I prefer to have the video paused rather than trying to stop it. The only thing is that when the game crashes, I'm urgently trying to click stop recording, and I'm forgetting that I can just pause. So now that I have, actually I should just probably switch the buttons. Probably make it easier. I just know that I'm gonna be like so confused when OBS is like, "You're still recording," and I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I paused it." But yeah, I think if a game is more than likely to crash, I think I'll probably do that. So I think I'll do that for Oblivion, and then if I ever do Nehrim again, if I ever do it again, I'll do it. I think I have Oblivion and Nehrim under the same sort of like collection. Because if it works for Oblivion, it works for Nehrim. But I think that's all I did. I don't think I did anything else for the most part. Okay, I remember there being more bikers up there, but that's fine. Okay, we faced every trainer here. Alright, awesome. Okay, so it's the second one, okay. Okay, we're gonna heal, we're gonna go fight Koga, and then I think that might be it. Oh, that'll be the most, like, progress we'll make. Okay. We might try and start Silphco. Okay, I'll fight you. Yeah. I'll definitely beat your special techniques, buddy.